Hey YouTube family and friends, this is Rev. We're Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Productions, and you know what time it is. Crank it up and rev it up.
I saw an angel of that shore. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man, but I won't lose no sleep all night, 'cause I've got a plan. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. I saw your face in a crowded place, and I don't know why.
Hey YouTube family and friends, this is Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Productions Mechanic Edition. I haven't done Mechanic Edition in quite a while for the simple reason of my back and hip problems. But I have a dear friend, car of mine, who engine shut off on her while driving. She heard a rattling noise in it, and the motor just quit. And anytime you are driving and your vehicle stops on you and it doesn't start anymore, it is something catastrophic. It's a catastrophic event, and it's going to cost you a little bit of money. But I just want to go through a simple, quick stages of how to diagnose cranking, not starting vehicle. So what we have here is a 99 Ford Escort. You saw this on the channel before. It came in before it would cut on and shut off. It wouldn't stay running. And of course, I changed a couple of vacuum lines, but the EGR port inside the throttle body was clogged. And I cleaned that out with that little pinhole. Supposed to be a pinhole in here, and had to end up getting a new EGR valve because the diaphragm was bad. And we put new plugs and wires on it, and that got the car running and going again. Well, it got towed here. So the diagnosis that you want to do on a cranking non-start, things the car has to have is, let me switch back, and you can see electric bit there resting in the garage waiting for Mustang Fest. And I want to remind you, I think it's October 22nd, Pleasant Hill Community Center is having a fall car show up in Hemingway, South Carolina. That's October 22nd, I believe it is, from 10 to 2 or something like that. Go to Facebook and check them out. And of course, don't forget about Mustang Fest, September 4th to the 11th. But the stages you want to go through with a vehicle that cranks but doesn't start is 3 things a car has to have. It has to have spark, it has to have fuel, and it has to have timing. I know Some of you are going to say it has to have oxygen or air. Well, that's included in there, because if you know the combustion cycle, you know where you have the intake, power, combustion, exhaust, and all that. So when the piston goes down, it sucks in air. So we have no problem with oxygen. The, all the exhaust is good, the intake tube is good, the filter is clear, no vacuum leaks. So we got oxygen. We got spark. So I took a spark plug wire off and I put an old spark plug wire on it. Do one or two things. Take a spark plug wire out, put an old spark plug in it, touch it to a ground, crank it, and you should see a white spark. Or take a jumper wire, a jumper cables, put the positive side to the spark plug and the other side to the negative side on your battery, and crank the car over, and you see a spark on the plug, a white arc. If you don't see any arcs, you got no fire. So you need to have spark. So we had fuel. I tested the fuel pump. I heard when I cut the engine on, when I turned the key to the on position, the fuel pump is in the back underneath the seat, and I listened quietly, and I heard that, so I knew we had fuel, and I can smell fuel from trying to start it. So the next thing is to check timing. We have to be in time. So I knew. I also checked. I thought it could have been a bad fuel pump. A fuel filter. So you can spray, take this intake off or anything in here and spray starting fluid right into the throttle body, and it will start, because that bypassed the whole fuel system. It will start as long as starting fluid is in there. It would not crank with starting fluid. So I knew my problem had to be with the timing. So let me show you what it is. So I jacked the car up, took the front tire off, I put it back on, took the skid plates down under there, took the tensioner off, took the belt off, and here we are, the timing belt. Now the timing belt looks like it's in good shape, good little tension on it. But if you look at the tensioner, the timing tensioner right here, see that? I don't know if you can see that movement in there, but that's what the problem is. The bearings in that tensioner and the bushings around it wore out, and the bearings were literally down near the crankshaft, sitting down near underneath the crankshaft, the roller bearings. So the tapered part wore out and the bearings wore out. So that's what the problem with this is, and it set the timing back. It's off about 3 teeth. So there's a mark. So if you're ever doing this right here, see if I can zoom in here and get you a good shot so you guys can understand that. Right there, that right there, that little peak arcing up, that's the timing mark for the camshaft. And up here on the head, there'll be a little hole, and that mark has to line up with that hole. That hole is somewhere over here, so it's off about 1, 2, about 3 teeth. Then down on the bottom, I can't really show you on the bottom, but if you can see that right here on the crank gear, that little cut right there, when you take that crank gear off, the crankshaft gear pulley, this little sprocket back here is going to have a notch on it. That also lines up with a little black thing in there, and that will let you know that you are in time. So while I'm in here, this car has 163,000 miles on it. we're going to change the water pump. The water pump is not leaking or anything, but we hate to put a new tensioner, timing tensioner in here, a new timing belt, and close everything up, and then 2 months down the line her water pump goes and you got to take all this stuff off again. So while you're at it, you might as well go ahead and add a new water pump. And I might add, if your water pump goes bad, your water pump is in here with your timing belt, so antifreeze will get on this belt and it will start to deteriorate. Change the timing belt. So this jumped a few teeth, so I'm sure the belt is worn here and there, so we're going to get a new belt for that. And so what my diagnosis is, we're getting a new timing belt, we're getting a new timing tensioner, we're getting a new water pump, we even going to get, I got a new idler gear for the serpentine belt, and I got a brand new serpentine belt for it, because here's the new serpentine belt, or should I say the gear. I already installed it on here, and this gear, when you spin it, it's supposed to spin one rotation and stop. See how it stops like that, and it stops. The old gear doesn't do that. The old gear is like one of those batteries. I forgot the name of that battery, the door cell, where it keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. See, I'm not even putting much on it, and see how much it spins. Now if I really spin it, look at that, it just keeps on spinning. Big difference when I really spin that. One rotation and it stops. This one here, you spin it, it just keeps going and going and going. That's too free. So we got a new pulley idler gear for that. So that's what we're going to do for this 99 Ford Escort. So that's what you do to check for a car that has a crank but no start. You want to make sure you have fuel, you want to make sure you have spark. And if you got those two, the next thing you go through, you want to check your timing. And it's going to be one of those three. Of course, you want to check your fuses, fuel pump relay, and then the car underneath there has got an engine fuse, which goes to the computer, which is a 15 amp. So all those fuses were good. So I knew I had a timing problem when I sprayed starting fluid inside the throttle body, and it didn't even give a hint that it wanted to start. So that's what we have to do. And I'll tell you what's all involved in doing this. You have to have the car on jack stands, which I do. Then you have to get another jack and get a block of wood. You want to support the engine, because we're going to have to take loose this bolt and that bolt, and that's the cap to the side motor mount. And then you got a bolt here and a bolt here to loosen up, and then that comes out, and then you have a lot of room to get in here to take the water pump out. The water pump should have 4 bolts on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have this heater hose that goes to the heater core, and then this side goes to the radiator. So we have to take those 2 loose right there, and then get those 4 bolts loose out of there, and then the water pump will come out of there. And of course, all you do is just take this screw here and untighten it and pull that out, and this is going to come with a new pin in there, and you're going to put it in here, and you're going to tighten it so this gear will be forward, so it will have slack on that. And so when you put the new belt on, you want to put the belt on as tight as possible and do the routing like it goes under the crank around the water pump like that, and then around the idler gear, and then of course it comes up around the camshaft position sensor. But make sure your lines are marked up when you do it. You want to put something underneath the crank to hold it in place. That gear, the crankshaft pulley, is going to come off. It's not pressed on. It's a 19 millimeter, and you can pull it off by hand. You got a Woodruff key, and then you put it back on by hand and then tighten it back down. That's no problem. And then when you get your belt routed, the timing belt, and it's on good, then you release the pin, and this will come back, and then you would tighten this, and it will hold it on there. And then with no coolant in here, and without the water pump even connected, you can crank the engine up to make sure it's in time. It will run, it will start if it's in time. Just don't run it too long. You can run it for about a minute. That's it. Turn it on, make sure it starts, and rev it up. Make sure it's not skipping and backfiring. Then you know you have the timing correct. Then you can shut her down, and then you can go ahead and put everything together, all things back together. Put the antifreeze in there, bleed the system, and then take it for a good ride. But when you get everything situated, what you want to do is you want to bar the engine over after you have it timed. Bar it over twice, 2 rotations, to make sure you're still in time after you put that belt in. You don't want to be 1 degree behind or 1 degree forward, because it won't start. And there's no need to put this together and then it won't crank. So make sure you crank it while it's like that. No oil is going to come out. You're not going to lose any antifreeze, and you won't ruin your engine. All right, so thanks for watching my little video short, and that is how to diagnose cranking no start on a 99 Ford Escort. This has got the 2.0 liter split port induction motor inside of it. So thank you for watching. Thank all my 778 subscribers I believe I have now. I really thank you for subscribing to the channel. It helps my algorithm, and it puts it out there that more people can see the videos. But be looking forward to Mustang Fest next month, September 4th to the 11th. Me and the 99 SVT Cobra, we will be out. We will be videoing. We'll be taking pictures, and she'll have her rear bumper, the stripes like what's up on here. This is the old bumper, so you'll see the black stripes up there. It'll look just like that. Instead of saying Mustang, it's going to say Cobra. But my black stripes will be back on September 1st. So September 4th, she's going to be in prime shape. We're going to be out there with the rest of you, and we're going to have a lot of fun. God bless. Thank you for watching this little video short. Like and subscribe, and I enjoy all your comments. Send as many comments as you want. We'll try to get back to you, answer all the comments. And I'm doing pretty decent with the hip and the back without surgery. The medication that I'm on, it seems to work pretty good, though I have a lot of rough days. But we're doing pretty good, thank God. All right, God bless. Have a good day.